Hey you guys, welcome to the long lost episode of Setting the Hook TV. I'm your host Dylan. Today I'd just like to start out, sorry I haven't done videos in a while. Working multiple jobs, stuff like that, it becomes a hassle. The tournament season of 2017 wasn't too great. I only got out for a couple. Recording them with GoPros, having a lot of technical difficulties. Wasn't that good of a year for camera going wise, so just had to take it easy and just try to do as much instructional videos and stuff like that for you, and hopefully next year 2018 as it is now. Hopefully this year fishing season I can bring you some better footage and get better on the camera and all the computer stuff, because clearly I'm not. So yeah, I'd just like to apologize to you guys. I know I promised you guys multiple videos and stuff like that of tournaments, so just be patient. I'm still trying to figure out this YouTube video thing myself. So alright, so this week's episode of what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you guys about just some off-season storage preparations, just stuff you guys can do. Usually in the fishing season up here in Southern Ontario, our fishing season, I usually stop fishing in October. It gets cold, that's when the deer hunt, duck and geese hunting starts happening for me. So usually around September, October, I start setting my rods down and picking up the long guns. So usually I'd be doing this video. I should have done it for you guys, and I apologize for that. So just keep this in mind. Whenever you stop going fishing, just look up this video, right? So alright, first thing we're going to do just for off-season prep is, I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that wasn't too good because I ran it off a GoPro, but rod and reel off-season storage. So as I mentioned in that video, you want to peel all your line off your reels and for the off-season. If you see, I got some of my good reels here. Got some of my spinning reels, got my Abu Garcia, got my Quantum, stuff like that. Baitcasters, same thing. This is only a couple of them. Got my Shimano. Pretty sure that's my expensive Quantum and my expensive Abu Garcia. If you notice why I got reel covers on these, obviously my really expensive reels that are over $300, I take really good care of them. So I'll actually put them in covers, stuff like that. These reels do have the line off them, except this one, we'll get to that in a bit. So my Quantum, it's my casting reel, so line stripped off it, etc. So in the winter what I do is I take my reels off my rods, strip all the line off. Absolutely. I change my line roughly probably every 2 months anyway when I run fluorocarbon. I don't run monofilament anymore. I stopped doing that years ago. I had too many problems. Switched to fluoro. Never had a problem. So I change my line for a tournament angler every 2 months. If you're just a wreck fisherman, you can change it every year. It's up to you. You know, fluorocarbon line, it deteriorates easy, stuff like that, dust. If you're going to keep your rods in a storage locker in a garage or something like that, you don't want the dust and screwing around with the line, getting nicks and stuff in it. Next thing you know, you go to fish next year and it breaks, right? So what I do is strip all the line off it, and then I'll give you another tip. What else I do is the dragging system. I will actually loosen the drag pretty much all the way. Just think of it as your car. If you're going to constantly hold your brake down, and just imagine holding your brakes down on your car for 4, 5, 6 months straight. You know, to me, I like to prevent mechanical problems with my reels. Especially when these reels, you're spending a couple $100s each on them, like my Quantums, like, oh, these are over $300. The spinning reels, you guys know how much these are. Like, these aren't cheap ones, right? Like, a couple of my cheaper ones, I don't really care. I'll just take the line off, but my expensive reels, yeah. Definitely just undo your drag, go all the way really low. Baitcasters, same thing. Your line drag, your braking systems on the side, I'll dial that down to 0. My spool, release, drag, everything, loosen it all the way. That's all I do, and just helps save the mechanical gears inside and stuff like that, right? Like when you're spending over a couple $100 on reels, you want them to last, right? So there's the first thing I do is I'll peel the lines, take off the braking systems. I just got these covers just for stuff. Now this is my flipping reel for braid. This is my really expensive Abu Garcia. If you guys notice, I still have my braided line on there. I do not, however, change braid line every year. I don't. I believe I put this braid on, it was pretty late in the season, I think I put it back on, and I put this Fresh Power Pro on in September. So this stuff's pretty fresh. I've only used it maybe a handful of times since I put it on. So I'll change braid about maybe once every other year, but I'll show you in a future video prepping for the season on what I do with the braid. But I'll give you a quick glance at it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the braid on. Next year when I'm going to reline all my rods is I will actually peel all this line off and rotate it. So the very end that I'm tying with my lures right here, if you guys can see, that has the most contact with the water. I'll actually peel all this off and tie this on my reel first. So all the fresh stuff that is at the base of the reel will actually take its place and be getting tied onto the baits, etc. So just to help save you money on braid, especially when braid, Power Pro, doesn't matter what braid it is, you're spending over 25 bucks for what, 200 yards, 300 yards. So these are fairly expensive, and because my reel is expensive, I will actually, I keep my expensive reels in these covers. Nice reel covers. These are pretty cheap. I think they're about 4 or 5 bucks at Bass Pro. I got these from. Not sponsored by them, but they're really good. I like them. Protects them from the dust, etc. So that, and another trick what I do for the off-season storage with my reels, just to help prevent them from dust, getting banged around, stuff like that. When I'm moving stuff in the summer, is I actually have a little bit of a little tote here, and a little Rubbermaid tote, Walmart special, and I actually put my reels in this, and then I just leave them in here all year round. So a good thing to do this is I put most of my reels in here. These are only my expensive reels that I do this to. Like I said, I have about 3 or 4 other spinning reels that I just took the line off and I just kept them on the rods, stuff like that. But my most expensive reels, I'll put it in a totes, just so they don't get banged around, stuff like that. If you ever, gone out in the winter, grab your reel, it's scuffed, stuff like that, stuff moves around, your rods will move. You want to take care of your reels, right? I can't stress that enough. Like I said, especially when you're not sponsored by reel companies, rod and reels, stuff like that, they get pretty expensive. So, yep, just look at that and put it straight on the storage shelf, and you're good to go. Next thing you know, these aren't going to get bumped, stuff like that. As for the rods themselves, rods are just as expensive as reels. Me personally, what I do is I take the reels off. Obviously, my rods, I'll actually just tie rope around them, group them together like that, and I just put them in my rafters in my garage. I don't bother putting rod socks on them. You can if you want. I have rod socks. They're mainly for transportation in the boats going to tournaments and stuff like that. I know some guys, they'll buy the rod tubes that you see on top of the pros, on top of their trucks. You can go ahead and buy those, a couple $100 if you have the money. If you want, I actually have a buddy who made his own. He went to his local hardware store, Home Depot here for us, and he just went and bought I think it's 9, 8, or 10-inch ABS piping. And what he did was he did that, cut it to 8 feet long, and he stuffed all his rods in there and just put caps on the end. And he just puts that right in his garage, leans it up, rods don't get bumped, scraped, scuffed, dust on them. It's a pretty good idea. I was actually going to do it, I just haven't got around to it, but my rods are sitting in the rafters perfectly fine. They're nowhere near anything else. There's no way they can get damaged. So another thing what you can do for your off season, if you're like me, who I just like staring at my fishing stuff all year and I get depressed, so I like playing with my fishing stuff. Another thing you can do is go into your tackle box, go through all your stuff and your baits. Sometimes when you're fishing, you change your baits really quick. You cut it off, put your old one back in the tackle box, tie a new one on. You leave a little bit of the line and the knot on. As you can see on this guy here, on my spinner baits, these especially, like I'll pick up one of my spinner baits, and I can see 3 or 4 right now. So what I'll actually do is I'll just cut that knot and tag off. It's exactly what I do. Have my one fishing boat bag here, and I got scissors and clippers onto it. And what I do is I'll just go through all my tackle stuff and just take all the knots off. Just stuff like that. Just saves you hassle next year when you go to start going fishing. I'm going to pick up my spinnerbait box. Next thing you know, I have 5 or 6 spinnerbaits that, cutting all the line knots off. Like, you just don't want to be bothered with that, right? Just stuff is to help you just use less time in the future. Tournament anglers, time is everything. In the middle of a tournament, last thing I want to do is grab some extra spinnerbait after I get broken off when I know there's a big 4 or 5 pounder right there. And I grab a new spinnerbait and I gotta bite it off or I gotta cut it off. And next thing you know, there's a minute gone, right? And a minute lasts a lifetime, right? All it takes is one 30-second cast and I can change your life. So just do simple stuff like that. Go through the bank bait, excuse me, crankbaits. Same thing. I got all my cases here. I'll end up doing that. Go through my soft plastic cases here. I got my craw chunks here. Just go through them and organize them if you really want. I can actually see right here is I actually have a craw chunk here with a weedless guard hook on it, and it's got a tag end on, so I'll end up doing that. Take that off. Another thing you guys can do is like I said, I got flipping hooks everywhere, if you guys can see that. Got my extra wide gap hooks. Just put these back where they belong, right? Like, usually I'm really organized, but during a tournament, during the year, I'm really unorganized. You know, tie that off, break that off, put it in here, put something else on, hurry up, get back fishing and stuff, right? Just trying to think what else we can, oh, here's another good tip you guys can do. I did this on purpose, so you guys can do this. So I had a buddy years ago, he would pre-rig his soft plastics, and which is, you know, okay if you want to do that, but he was Texas rigging, so it's kind of weird that he would pre-rig it. But if you would notice, I did this. So what he used to do is he used to take his craw chunk, and if you guys can see that, he would feed the hook in it, and he would do about 4 or 5 of these and keep these in his tackle case. This ain't a bad idea if you're going to use them within a month or two. However, during the off season, you definitely want to take these off, because you guys can't really see because I'm running this off my laptop, but the salt from the craw chunk will actually cause the hook to rust. And you guys can't see it here, but the hook is rusted, and the craw chunk actually started deteriorating, rusting. And because of where the hole is, from where the eye of the hook and the hook came out, is now this craw chunk is actually hollow inside. I can actually squish it. It's really, there's a big hollow inside, and basically it's gonna fall apart. Like, you guys still can't see that, but basically this craw chunk is garbage now. So definitely, if you're gonna do in the off season, definitely separate your hooks from your plastics. So you don't want them getting rusted. You know, that craw chunk, I believe, I think that's a Jackal. Again, they're what, $9-10 a pack, so they're not cheap. Again, I'm just trying to help save you guys money, time, tackle, stuff like that. So got the hooks. I will go through all my cases, make sure everything's in the right spots. That's about it for off-season storage. If you guys really want, go through all your bags. I have one of my bags here. I just have my extra spools of line, stuff like that, scents. I got my glasses, knife sharpeners, scents, stuff like that. You know, got soft plastics I'll probably end up organizing and stuff like that. Just simple stuff you can do for off-season storage, just help you pass the time and get ready for next year. Stay tuned for more videos regarding bait reviews. During the winter right now, it's January, I believe it's the 20th, 2018. My plan for the next couple months is I'm finally set on a good set schedule for my 2 jobs that I work. So now I'm going to be doing a lot of bait reviews, tactics, just how-tos, techniques, stuff like that. Got my spinner baits here. My next video is I'll show you guys how to put trailer hooks on spinner baits, just simple stuff like that. So definitely stay tuned to more videos. Again, I apologize for not doing videos in a while. And yeah, this year's going to be our year. I already entered a few tournaments already. Got a few tournaments lined up for the summer. I believe I got 1 in June, 1 in July, one's going to be in later in September so far. Just getting the guys organized. We'll see how those go. I do plan on ordering a lot more, couple cameras, a lot more camera gear. I really want to get this YouTube channel just better quality. The laptop right now, it doesn't take much of a good video. I'm saving up for a really good video camera so I can do better fishing shows for you guys. Definitely just be patient with this YouTube channel. I'm learning. I'm not really good with this stuff. So yeah, you're definitely going to see a big drastic change in my camera editing, stuff like that. So thanks for tuning in, guys, for another episode of Send the Hook TV. Again, if you guys have any questions or any tips, bait reviews, stuff like that, any topics for future shows, please feel free to comment. I would definitely love talking with you guys on YouTube. I've talked with a few of you guys before. I'm a very social guy, definitely. So, all right, thanks for tuning in, and have a good day.